When I was in college, I had a homie, and I didn't even know he was in college at the college I went to at the time. But we grew up together as little tykes. Like I mean, like from age 0 to 4 or something like that. And then I moved around. Then I moved to Michigan and a whole bunch of other stuff. When I walked into the cafeteria at college, I recognized him, and I was like, "Hey, aren't you like my homie that we used to kick?" Like I grew up with, and he was like, "Yeah." So we called our parents, and we're like, "Yo, this person's up here." And we became like bros, right? And when I say bros, I mean brothers. I'm not talking about friends or anything like that. I called him my brother. I don't have friends. That's just not something I do. We're so close. Like I gave him the keys to my apartment because at the time, like we got cool for the first semester, and then at second semester, he needed a place to stay because he ended up dropping out so he could start university at Cordon Bleu, so a chef's school. He had to leave to the chef's school like 30 minutes away at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I just gave him a key to my spot, and I was like, bro, just crash on the couch or whatever, because he had nowhere else to go, and it was going to be a 6 month program. It kind of worked out like decent at the time because after the 6 month lease ended up for me, then we'd be able to like get our own place or get like a bigger place and do parties and shit because we were starting to go to parties and go out and pull. I mean, everything that you do as a college like buds, right? College is like small fraternity type of deal, even though I'm not in a fraternity. Like everything was cool, we go out, pull chicks, except he never pulled chicks. He never got chicks. And maybe I was insensitive to this. Maybe I just didn't see or quite understand or feel it, but I could understand just a little bit of how he felt. Still, having said that, the amount of jealousy that he had towards me and the amount of hatred that he had towards me and the amount of hatred and jealousy that your friends could have towards you is something that you got to watch out for. And here's why. When you're a handsome or a good looking person, handsome man in this case, and you go out and you're the one constantly getting the attention, this, and that, like as a man, that hurts their ego and their pride. Like as a man, it hurts. As a human being, it hurts you. But as a man, it's like you question your existence because your natural drive to go get women, to want to be the life of the party, every man has that. They all want to be the hero in the movie. They all want to be Superman. They all want to be chisel jawed and good looking and 6'4" and then 600, 6 figure jobs, whatever it might be, right? But the reality is that very few are going to be able to be that. And eventually, my homie stopped wanting to go out and hang out with me. And by this time, the semester was getting ready to draw towards an end. And we were supposed to go have our, a place that we could move into and start doing our own parties and stuff like that, right? But he started feeling some type of way and he started distancing himself. I ended up going to jail for tickets and traffic tickets and warrants and stuff like that for traffic tickets. And I was gone for probably like a month or so, I'd say, maybe 3 weeks. And I got back out and I was like, yo, man, we're getting ready to, get the place again. And when I got out, he had gotten a new place with somebody. I had no idea who the guy was. He was cool, the new roommate, by the way. But bro, like, what? I thought we were supposed to get a place together. Like, what's going on? Well, what's going on is that he didn't want me stealing all the women from all the little kickbacks that they were going to be having, right? And that's exactly what they started doing. They started having these kickbacks and I wouldn't get an invite to anything. And I'd be like, why aren't these guys inviting me? Like, life had kind of gone topsy-turvy over the past, like, 6 months. Things had gotten rocky with my girlfriend. And, I ended up dropping out myself. And it was just like everything changed really quickly. I had a good job at the time, but I lost a good paying job. And so I thought I had my brother, the guy that I gave the keys to my place to, that I'd be able to, to count on. But it's like he dug even deeper, and there was no empathy, no remorse, no nothing, because of course I'm the handsome guy, I'm the stud. It's like, dude, what are you complaining about? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, we're out here, we're just trying to survive. Like, you should be able to go call a girl and go crash. It's interesting because it was like, okay, cool. We had a conversation like one day there was a kickback happening at their apartment, and I got no invite. It was the new roommate who gave me the invite. Denzel, he was like, yo, man, you coming tonight? Like, you saw me, and I was just like, coming to what? And they were like, we're having a kickback. So I pulled up and I pulled up to my brother and I was like, yo, man, I was like, why didn't you tell me you're having a kickback tonight? And he kind of looked at me puzzled and he was like, man, I just forgot to tell you, bro. And I was like, how do you forget to tell me? Like, this, I mean, I would assume that as many times as we've gone out before, that more than likely you would have registered my name partially across your mind when you thought about having this celebration, right? Because for the past damn near year, we've been partying. But of course, he had the excuses and everything. And then finally, when I did get maybe an invite here or there to something, he would be the Super Mario one-up man, where like everything he said or I said, he had something that he could do better, or he had thought about doing it better. He knew somebody that do it better. Women can tell, by the way, guys, when you're trying to be like the cool guy or the one-up guy, or trying to make yourself look like you're cooler than what you really are, or something that you're really not. Women can tell, and they'll play along with you. This is not handsome man game, obviously, but they'll play along with you and laugh behind your back. So if you feel the need to always be the comedian all the time and get really peppy just because the homegirl showed up and you're with the homies, you're making it way worse for yourself, just to let you know. It didn't work out better for him. So the resentment probably kept building, and then of course I stopped getting any invites. Period, right? Because I was getting attraction while I was at the little kickbacks that they were ceased. Literally, a friendship just completely ceased, and from that moment on, I was like, well, obviously, I'm probably not gonna give the keys to my apartment to anybody else because that was a stupid thing to do. And if he was really super jealous, I mean, he could have probably been robbing me and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Thankfully, he didn't. He wasn't that bad of a person. But it made me realize that if you are a handsome man and you have a circle of friends that never tells you no, they're yes people, they're this, and that. You gotta be careful because even though they're always like smiling in your face, a lot of stories that we see where people get knocked off, backdoored, and permanently removed from this existence happen because of jealousy. Maybe it's not because of looks, but if you are a guy that always has the women, um, more than likely you have looks in 2023 if you always have the women. But if you or money. But if you're a guy that always has the women and you have looks and money, yeah, you really gotta that's a separate video. But if you always have the women and their homies never really pull like that and they seem like they're always cool, hey man, how's what happened with you and homegirl, whatever, and they're always asking you about the girls that you're dating, that's something that you need to watch out for because that can be dangerous for you. Any friend now that I have that's always constantly asking me about the girls that I'm dating or the girls that I'm talking to, I keep an eye open for because that lets me know that no man should be interested in another man's love life like that unless he's lacking in his own life. And if he's lacking in the love department in his own life, he's gonna try and live vicariously through you. And if he can't live vicariously through you, or if he's doing that for a certain amount of time, and then you cut off that supply, then things can kind of get tricky, or he could decide he wants to cut you off because he's just immature and not secure, and whatever it might be. Like it just gets really fishy, and you start to throw resources into the mix, and you thinking that you have a friend that you can trust type of deal. Man, all kinds of stuff starts happening, setups, and you never know, man. So it can get dangerous. The way to kind of supersede all that is the loneliness, right? Sticking to yourself, sticking to yourself and having, one good person you can trust, two good people you can trust, and moving that way because again, you are different. And the reality of it is that people are going to treat you different, whether good or bad, whether you choose to or not. It just is what it is. So just remember that, y'all. Be safe out here and take care of your emotional fortitude. It's not that serious at the end of the day, but if you don't know these types of things, then you have the ability to get hurt, from all kinds of people in the long run, because they see life through a different lens than you do. No pun intended.